All right. We are up and running. And I believe, let's give it a second, start connecting everything. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I'm going to check this deal. Let's see, we should be live and in person. There it is. We are on.
Okay.
um, so I was going to try to see if I could tag you in this thing. Edit post. And this we're going to tag at Sarah Lee Owensby. Save. Put a second, start
Oh, I
connecting
got
everything.
us. Now I can share us
There it
too.
is. All right. So I'm on here with the voice of the Cat 96, and people when people see it, they don't know who is this person. But as soon as you start talking, every country person in Charlotte knows who you are. So you just it's such you're like you liven up everybody's morning. You make us all excited when we wake up. Yeah, we're like, yay, I'm awake. Okay, I'm good. This is awesome. It's gonna be a good day.
Well, thank you, and thank you for listening.
Yeah. So you tell me real quick before we get into this deal. How long have you been doing radio?
Well, like 17 years.
Wow.
Not all those years are in Charlotte, but
Mhm.
throughout the 17 years.
At one point, weren't you in New York City?
I was in New York City. I did a morning show with Nick Cannon. It was so much fun.
That's we're heading there for spring break, taking the fam to New York City. So we're taking my little
Except
my
they don't talk like that up there.
Well, it's kind of fun. Well, Karen and I've been quite a few times. It's just fun to walk around and be like, "Hey, y'all, we is from Charlotte, North Carolina. Do y'all hear? I hear y'all sell like hot dogs at the park. Just see what you can get. It's kind of fun." So, hey, so I am really excited to be on here with you to talk about how we can help police and military deal with PTSD. And I'm really excited to talk with you about it because I know you've got a real passion for officers and the military that serve in our communities. And I've
Yes.
heard that on the air. I've seen that in person. And so it's really exciting to get on here with you. How much do you know? Tell me what you know about this thing. What have you heard about it?
About Dare to Act. Well, I got really excited because I do have a lot of police officer friends. I have friends that have served in the military who are currently serving in the military. And when I spoke to you at church, by the way, if you're my friend on here, this is my pastor, Austin Ramel Venture Church.
So,
He is awesome. So this event is to help support military and police officers. As you know, they see a lot. They've experienced a lot, and whenever they take their uniform off, guess what? Their mom, their dad, and day-to-day life continues. And so a lot of times these guys have PTSD from things that they've seen, they've experienced. And guess what? Like I said, life continues,
mm-hmm.
and they kind of like put it in the back of their mind, or they kind of shove it off. But that PTSD will continue to grow and manifest if you don't seek help. But a lot of these people who have experienced that have this stigma. They don't want to go to the doctor and ask for help,
Yep.
because then they at work they get branded. I forget what the word you used was, but it was a really good word. But
Mm-hmm.
they don't seek help because they don't want it to prevent them from getting a promotion or getting a
Yep.
pay raise. And that's terrible. Or their insurance only covers 2 visits. Well, what are you going to get out of 2 visits? Like, you're just
Mm-hmm.
getting to know each other in 2 visits. And so Dare to Act is actually going to raise money and create scholarships so that if you are a military member, a police officer, past or current, and you need counseling, you can go get counseling and nobody's going to know, because you're going to have the scholarship. It's not going to hit your insurance,
Yep.
and therefore you're going to get the help you need. And I can't wait, Pastor Austin, your vision. This is your baby, and it's going to be such a fun event.
It really is. So the event is, I'm trying to see if I can tag the event. Of course, Facebook is aggravating me on that. I was going to try to tag that event, but it's not working.
And
So
if you're watching, please share this event, because this is really exciting. Tag your friends that are police officers, tag your military friends, because they are going to really want to participate in this.
yeah, so the event itself is designed to raise money for this scholarship fund that current and former police can apply for. And I met with 34 law enforcement leaders last month, police chiefs association, and man, it was just really exciting seeing them all bought in. We're going to be doing a press conference with some of those guys here in a few weeks, so hopefully Charlotte media will be behind that and really help us get it out. But the event is designed. People are like, "You're going to invite people with PTSD to a shooting event?" I'm like, no. The shooting event is designed for law enforcement and police to be able to just get together and connect and go have fun. Have fun. You know what I mean? And if you're in law and shoot guns, big guns, we got 50 cal out there. So Blackstone Shooting Sports, which is in Charlotte, is just like Blackstone Shooting Sports is like what's the golf place where you go get the golf balls at the targets? Top Golf. So imagine Top Golf becomes a shooting place. So that's Blackstone. So Blackstone is like the Top Golf of shooting sports. And I mean, they're incredible. They're incredible. And so they're bringing out all the guns. So they're bringing like all these crazy awesome guns. And so we're going to have a 3-gun contest. And anybody who's shooting knows what that is. You're going to shoot shotgun, pistol, and an AR. And so you're going to be going through with all that. You have to pick this up, pick shot, you know. And then we're going to have skeet shooting contests, and then we're going to have stationary contests, targets. And so they're supplying all the ammo, all the guns, and it's going to be really cool guns. And then the winner of each of those gets 4 shots at 500-yard Tannerite targets. So kaboom! So big 50 cal with silencer on the end of it, like the coolest gun ever to shoot, and you get to blow up things that go really loud, you know. And so, plus if you win the overall, so we're going to score all 3 events. The overall winner is getting a Glock 45, and then plus $100 gift card, plus tickets to next year, second prize. So it's really cool prize. You can check it out. Go to daretoventure.org. So daretoventure.org, and you can check out all the stuff about the event itself. But what I'm hoping, we need some businesses to get excited about this and go, you know what? I want to help those who've helped me. And so when you stop and think about it, if you become a police officer for the money, you're not real smart. You know, it's just the truth. You know, you're not going to make a lot of money being a police officer. They serve us every single day. Yeah. And we're not talking about the PTSD of, you know, the guy that's non-functioning. He's sitting over in the corner. He can't feed himself because he's gone through this traumatic experience. He's had total nervous breakdown. That's not what we're talking about. Police are very good at identifying the officer that's going through it at the extreme non-functioning level. But the officer that's going through it in the functioning level, that's what we're worried about. Because the guy going through the functioning level, when he comes home, he's losing and or lost his ability to empathize, which means he's not really concerned about his family. He can't connect. He doesn't feel like his wife loves him or her husband, or, you know, from our female officers, they don't feel like they connect with their kids anymore because they don't feel like they connect. They disengage. And so the divorce rate among our police officers is extremely high. Their issues with their kids, where they just, because of lack of connection, is extremely high. And then
not that they have to put up that void, but they've experienced something that it almost pulls the electric cord out. Like it just, people don't want to be that way. But they don't have a choice. Not that they don't have a choice, but they can't help it. And I just want to say, if you don't know this, not to cut you off, Pastor Austin,
no, do it.
But Pastor Austin knows this firsthand because for 17 years he was a chaplain in Gastonia at the Gastonia Police Departments, with the Gastonia Police Departments, and he's not speaking about something he doesn't know. He knows firsthand. He counseled these men and women. And so this is why he's super passionate, because he sees the need in the community and it's not being met. And that's why we're both on here saying, hey, please help us. Please donate. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just want people to know. You know firsthand. Like you've heard countless 17 years of stories.
You have a little story of yourself. Or is that something that you share, talk about much? Or?
Oh, I've talked about it. When I first started working in Charlotte radio, I got held up at gunpoint with the gun physically held to my face. One guy was in front of me. The other guy was behind me. And they basically said, my time is almost up. and to give me all my money. I give them my money, and I know that God intervened. They saw something, they ran away.
Mhm.
But the PTSD that came from that, I would have the worst nightmares that I can't even explain to you. I would wake up hearing a gunshot, like, and the enemy would play tricks with my mind, like you're dead, you're in a coma, you're in the
Mhm.
hospital, like this is a real life. And it sounds crazy to somebody who hasn't experienced it, but like even going to the grocery store, walking to my car, like hanging out with friends just to go eat a dinner at a
Mhm.
restaurant, I couldn't do it for the
Yep.
longest time. I'm always constantly head on a swivel. And to this day, this happened 15, 17 years ago. To this day, I can tell you it happened February 11th. With my children, I've walked at the Gateway Trail in Kings Mountain and have panic attacks by something will trigger that PTSD. I carry everywhere I go. I mean,
Mhm.
it changed my life forever. And that was one instance.
Yep.
And so you have these officers, and to say that, we say, hey, if you're a business owner, you're gonna get a lot if you're a sponsor. But if
Mhm.
something happens in your business, if somebody breaks in, if there a fire happens, something, your police officers are the first on the scene. Like they're
Yep.
the ones there to help you. And that's why I feel like it's important for us to take care of the people taking care of us, love
Yep.
on them, support them, because we all need each other. And as somebody who's experienced PTSD, um, my husband can tell you, he's been in my life this whole time. He saw how I struggled with it and how it
Mhm.
affected me and how it literally changed my life that day. And not to be dramatic, but it did. And
Yep.
my husband will tell you, you know, I function. I know what functioning PTSD is because I can go to a movie theater and sit there and immediately have a panic attack and nobody knows, but things are going through my mind because of what I've experienced. And
Yep.
you never know when it's going to hit. It's not going to hit every time. It's not going to hit every day. When it hits, it's terrible.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's why I love what you're doing, Pastor Austin.
And it makes it. It's something that I call it the slow drip PTSD that a lot of our military and police go through, and they don't. The old thing: you put a frog in boiling water, hops right out. Which I'm like, no, it won't. It'll die instantly. But I get the idea. You put the frog in the cool water, you gradually heat it up, won't jump out. Once again, I'm like, I think it would eventually will, but nonetheless, I get the illustration. Uh, But what happens for a lot of guys, it's the steady. So you went through that traumatic experience, and it was very traumatic. Imagine going through every time you pull somebody over for a traffic stop. You know that officers. It happens every year. It happens every year to not just one officer, to numerous officers around the country. Where they get shot on a traffic stop, or they show up at a call and mom and dad are beating the living daylights out of one another, and all those things affect because they immediately kick in the part of your brain that goes, okay, this is a serious situation. And so it starts firing off the endorphins and things so that your brain is focused, so your eyes are focused, your ears are focused, and it starts firing that off. Well, what happens with PTSD is your brain keeps doing it when it ain't supposed to. And it also desensitizes. And so the effect of an officer who's every single day, when he pulls that car over, he knows there's a chance. And he goes through, people don't realize this, but they have a whole process they go just to give somebody a ticket because of the chance of what might happen. So they have this whole procedure piece that they're going through as a police officer. So that's in the front of their mind. So you have to ask yourself, how many times a day is it in the front of your mind that I might get shot? And then for a police officer, take it for instance, state trooper. He pulls 20 people in a day. That's 20 times that he went through a procedure in his mind to make sure he didn't get shot. Average person in America never goes through it one time a month that they might think, I need to do this so I don't get shot. So the cumulative effect of that has on the brain and the emotion it tends to create a cynicism about society, a cynicism about loved ones. Everybody's lying. Nobody's telling the truth. What's the catch? Just so like for you, where you're sitting in the movie theater and all of a sudden your brain's like, oh gosh, someone might come in here and shoot me. Or homie, theirs is who's lying, who's trying to get away with something. I need to protect myself all day long, every day. And so you do that for years, and it begins to have an emotional effect. Well, most police officers know how to function with that day to day. They do their job, they're professionals, they're trained, and they go out here and do it. The effect shows up in their family life. That's the primary spot where that happens. It certainly can happen in their professional life as well, where all of a sudden you hear the story of this officer that snapped. Odds are that officer snapped because of years of things, not because of something that happened that day. It wasn't that was a good cop for a long time. And so my concern as a chaplain for 17 years was seeing that effect, and there's just no place for them to get help. Because as we said earlier, if they bring it up and it's linked with PTSD, they're benched, and in some departments they could even be fired. And they're at minimum benched, and so their whole career path is done. They're done. So in the military has come a long way. The military and the VA is doing a lot, especially for former. We always like to joke, the one thing the VA does well, that they really do a good job at, is actually this. The problem is you can't get in. So I've worked with a handful of veterans, and they're like, yeah, we'll see you in 4 months. We'll get you in 3 months. It's just because they're so overwhelmed after 2 big, huge wars. They're so overwhelmed with people in that. So how do they get help? Well, you're a vet, you're living on a fixed income, you're going to go pay $150, $180 to go through 2 years worth of PTSD training or a year's worth. It's not happening. So they just endure, they keep it up. And meanwhile, marriage, kids, friendships, ability to perform, whatever, all of that's affected. So I'm just of the perspective, like, our police and military have given us everything.
Yes.
And everything. The least we can do is come up with dollars to get them what, unfortunately, our governments will not allow them to get because of all the liability. The lawyers have said, well, if this officer has PTSD and he's getting counseling and then he messes up, then the police department's going to be held liable, and there's going to be this big insurance suit, yak, 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 yak. So any police officer that has, symptoms of brrr, then they have to be yanked. Well, to me, that's just asininely stupid. Just stupid. Because now what you have is the impact of PTSD on a large percentage of your officers, the slow drip kind, not the non-functioning. And they won't bring it up. They won't get help, but you're still going to keep them on the road because nobody knows. Or you get them help, and now you have a healthier police department. I mean, this is a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer, but we can't seem to. The legal barrier is a mess. So what's really encouraging is the law enforcement chiefs that I met with. They were like, absolutely, you can hang the poster up. We'll put it up, and where you have all the employee posters, and we're going to have stuff on there like, are you having a hard time connecting in your marriage? Are you having a hard time connecting with your children? Are you beginning to feel skeptical towards society? Do you feel skeptical about yourself? And so we're not going to put, do you have PTSD? Then if these are things you're experiencing.
Like therapy, just any kind of therapy is great for you. And there's such a stigma on mental health and going to see a doctor. And let me tell you, I have massive ADHD. You probably can't tell what I do. And in New York City, when I went there, it was a controlled substance to get Adderall, which is what I take. And so I had to go see a psychiatrist. Well, I had a stigma back then. Like, I don't need a psychiatrist. What? So I literally, Dr. Termini is his name. I love him. I went in there, and it was like what you see on TV at first, like, sit on the couch and talk to me about your problems. And I'm a very guarded person. And I went in there and I sat and I just need my medicine. And he was like, no, like, literally, what's going on with your day? And I got to know Dr. Termini. It was like, why are you working 15 hours a day? Like, why are you doing that? And he just became a friend, like just somebody to talk to. I had a bad day at work. This is what happened. Not some like, you're crazy, you're losing. It's good sometimes to talk to somebody that's not connected to your family, that doesn't know, like, is a professional, and like they're able to walk you through, hey, maybe you're working so much because you're trying to gain something. I forget his exact, my husband will tell you because he talked to my husband too, but like, I am a big encourager to go get counseling, go see a psychiatrist, go get this help. And maybe you don't have PTSD, but you're an officer that, hey, my marriage is struggling. You better get on this Dare to Act program, because guess
Yes.
what? It doesn't have to be PTSD. You saving your marriage is going to make you a better employee, because if your house is not right, then your work life is not right. You're
Train
not
wreck.
getting sleep. You're guarded all the time. So take advantage of what Pastor Austin, take advantage of this Dare to Act,
Mhm.
and if you know somebody getting help, don't put a stigma on mental health, because guess what? Sometimes you're just sitting there talking to somebody, and we all need that. We all need that person that we can trust and say, hey, today sucked and I had a bad
Mhm.
day. And I just need you to listen. I don't even need you to tell me advice. I just need somebody I can throw it out there to and get it off my shoulders.
Yes. And it's huge. That as a chaplain, that's mostly what I did. I didn't have a magic pill, that all of a sudden made everything right. But there was something for guys that would just come and just talk and just be able to talk about the situation, talk about what's going on in their marriage, talk about what's going on with the kid. They got a middle school daughter and they're scared stiffless. And I want to run into the school and tell everybody I'm a police officer and stay away from my daughter, But so just going through those things, what PTSD does, and just the emotional impact of being in law enforcement on a day-to-day basis, or so many of our military who have served overseas in combat, is it's kind of like, imagine, life is like climbing a mountain already. And then just imagine all of a sudden, you're not just climbing the mountain, but now you've got to climb the mountain with your feet tied together. That starts getting complicated, or they're going to dump, oh, you're climbing the mountain. Wait a minute. I'm going to jump on your back while you climb the mountain. Hold on. So these emotional pieces are really so much a part of our life. And when you're healthy emotionally, then you're equipped mentally, you're equipped physically. Like, it all goes together. Even emotion and spirituality comes together. So when you read Philippians chapter 4, for instance, one of my favorite verses is Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, where he talks about whatever is true and right and pure and lovely, to think on these things. He was linking emotional practice with gospel. So we know that Jesus is alive, that he rose from the dead, life is eternal. And so this is what Christ has done for us. If we repent and believe in Jesus, we belong to him forever, and forever is a long time. And this is good. So think on these things. Rejoice in the Lord always. Process this through. It was amazing what Paul understood 2,000 years ago. That took 2,000 years for a psychologist to figure out. Paul understood that thoughts build emotion. Emotion creates thought. Well, I can't control emotion, but I can control thinking. So if I learn to think, it affects my emotion. And so imagine when I start learning to think from a gospel standpoint and who God actually is and what life's really about. Well, just having that kind of conversation would impact somebody, and I would see them start moving. But there's some amazing, they call it evidence-based therapy. And that's what we're not going to pay for anybody to go over here to go to some like shaman that says, oh, if you just sing long enough, then it's going to fix it, And so you want to do that, you got to pay for yourself. But evidence-based therapy, we're going to pay for that. Whether it's through a Christian counselor, we're going to try to steer you that way. But if it's not a Christian counselor and they're doing evidence-based PTS therapy, we're going to help you pay for it. 50%, 75%, maybe 100% based on your income. And it's all going to be confidential. So you're going to email us. We're actually going to have a hotline as well. And you're going to have our pastoral counselor is going to call, our Christian counselor is going to call you, and they're going to set up a meeting with her. And she's going to kind of triage the situation, recommend different programs, and then evaluate where you are financially. And then we're going to support you and walk with you through it. And no one's ever going to know. So the only people are going to know, even our finance secretary that pays, she's not paying you. She's going to be paying the invoice we get from that particular business. And so we've already got them established. So they'll invoice us, we pay it. So it's totally confidential. And you'll be able to, I mean, nobody will know. Your wife, your husband won't know unless you tell them, which we encourage you to do.
Well, they'll know because you're gonna get healthier, and they're gonna be like, "What happened?
Yeah, who is this
My
person?
husband's back."
Yeah, who is this
Yeah.
person that's paying attention to me and actually seems to care? So I would just, I'm going to encourage you, if you're in law enforcement, past or present, if you're military, past or present, number one, you need to come play in this event. Like, you're going to have fun. So get her, daretoventure.org. You'll see Dare to Act. Just click it and scroll down. It's really obvious. It's really easy to do. Your $50 to get to play in the Dare to Act event, your $50 is a donation to that scholarship fund. None of the cost of the event is tangled up in that $50. It might mean that I have to pay for the event.
Because you know what, Pastor?
That's a lot of ammo. So, yeah.
You got this. I know that God has
yeah.
never failed.
Yeah, the Lord
And
never
there's
fails. He's
so
got
many- He does. And there's so many, I know so many business owners that love, not just love Jesus, but really love supporting the law enforcement. And they're like, how do I do it? And a lot of people have asked me because they see I do Jeep rides. And if an officer gets shot, like I try to do everything I can to raise funds to help these families because they need money, and they protect us. And so there are so many people, maybe you don't own a business, but you're watching this live and God has just placed it on your heart. You're like, I don't even know why, but I really feel led to give to this. No dollar amount is too small. Yes, we want some big donors because we really want, the more money that we're able to get for this ministry, the more people that we can help. And at the end of the day, when you get pulled over on the highway because you're going 85 miles an hour because you're running late, you want that cop that pulls you over to be sympathetic and not having a bad day.
Yes.
So it really is a forward moving thing that helps you in the long run. But maybe you have $200 and you're like, you know what? God put this on my heart and I want to donate this. Hey, we'll take that money. I say we. This isn't my event. This is Pastor Austin's baby, but I'm saying I will do everything I can to support it. But maybe you have won the lottery. I don't know. You've got a lot of money. Guess what? So I don't think that we hit this, Pastor Austin, but there are levels, like if you want to become a bigger sponsor where your business will be branded at the event, email blast will go out to hundreds of thousands, not just from the church's personal email blast, but Blackstone.
Yeah.
If you own a gun, Blackstone.
200,000 plus email list, and they are going to promote your business to their entire database. Plus, they're going to promote your business through their social media. And then as a church, we're going to pay to promote your business on social media. So you'll see the different tiers. It's pretty self-explanatory. But, the reason why I'm doing that is I want this to be a win-win for your business. And I'm not just here asking for you to give money. Every time you turn around, nonprofits or give money. I want to be able to support what you're doing, because if you have a healthy business, guess what? You can give again next year. So I want to make this a win-win where you're investing into the police, military, and your community in this region. It's not just Gaston County, but we're reaching out Cleveland County, Lincoln County, Mecklenburg County, like this region. And so we want your business to thrive so you can continue pouring back in. So we're going to work hard at making your business grow. And so this is a partnership. Help us help those who help you, and we're going to help you. And we'll just be in the middle, divvying it out. So, but the scholarship fund, if you participate in the event, your $50 goes to the fund. The sponsors are paying for the event up to the cost, and then so all the sponsorship over that goes again into that fund. No one at Venture Church makes a dime off of this. So this is a scholarship fund. My time is donated. This isn't one of those, burns me up when I hear these churches doing that stuff. So, they'll do these events, and then they'll bill their time to the event, and they'll It's just like a stinking money-making scheme in the name of Jesus, and it makes me want to body slam some folks, but I don't have to, because Jesus is going to come back.
That's why I love him, and he's my pastor. Yeah. He's real, and he's real.
Yeah, Jesus is going to come back, and he's going to do all the judging on that. So if that's you better quit, because Jesus don't play. All right, so
And this is how he is every Sunday, folks. So
Yeah,
come to church.
I get a little fired up every now and then. But so like if you're thinking about investing in this as a business, you need to understand like Blackstone's not making anything off of this. The biggest cost of the event is the cost of the ammo, and we're buying it from Blackstone at cost. So like literal what they get it from their distributor, we're paying that cost. So Blackstone makes no money off of this whatsoever. Venture Church makes no money. Meanwhile, the managing partner at Blackstone, the marketing director, the director, Shane Cahill of all their shooting and training, they're donating their time. My staff's donating our time. I'm donating my time because it matters, because it's that big of a deal. At least I can do, that's what I did, 17 years as a police officer, 17 years as a police chaplain, donating my time to the police officers. And people are like, why are you donating it? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what a small payback to what these guys do for us every single day, all day long. Same thing for the military. If using my time can help somebody that's gone and stood in the gap for me and literally had their life on the line because our government sent them to go do that and they were willing to be faithful and do that, the least I can do is put together an event and donate some money to it, which, by the way, I'll be donating money myself to this. So I'm putting dollars in it because it matters. And so I want to encourage each and every one of you that's listening, maybe you can't be one of our sponsors, but you can donate. You own a barbecue restaurant and you want to give a free meal as an in-kind donation to the event. It'll make it a better event, or maybe you just want to chip in $10. Just go to the link and donate to the event. It's really easy, and so, but what I'm really hoping to have is some of you guys out there that the Lord has really blessed and prospered your business. I'm hoping some of you will catch a vision on how this is an opportunity for you to invest back in your community in one of the most meaningful ways you can to the people who are literally putting their life on the line to serve you. And so, I'm really encouraging guys we're praying for a $10,000 sponsor, 2 $5,000 sponsors, 4 $2,500 sponsors. We're praying for $10,000 sponsors, and I forget how many 500s, like as many as the Lord can rein in, And I honestly, the need is so big. We're figuring it's going to be anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 to get a police officer through some evidence-based therapy to completion. Well, we raised $20,000. That's not even 10 people. And you're talking about large numbers of police officers that deal with functional PTSD. And so, Taylor Potter, can you give a quick recap? Yes, I can, Taylor. Thanks for asking. Go ahead, give them the recap, Sarah.
One thing real quick about the trickle-down effect, because you want to know how it affects you. I have 2 little boys that go to school. And it's not just marriages. So you have a child that's affected in a home with the officer that has PTSD. The child has a lot of issues, goes to school, bullies your child. I mean, it is a trickle-down effect. And if you have kids, you know how stressful school is. And so think about not just of the man or the police officer woman. Think about the children and how it affects your life and your family and your kids. Like what you're donating is definitely not only helping these families, but it's gonna help your family as well. It's gonna be a blessing to the whole community.
Yeah. It's top to bottom. So to Taylor's question, we are doing an event. We're calling it Dare to Act, and it's an event exclusively for police and military, current and former, to come out, have 3 different shooting contests, all kind of prizes. You can learn more about the contest. It is their cost to come is a donation to Venture Church's brand new scholarship fund that we're calling Dare to Act. And that scholarship fund is exclusively going to be used to pay for evidence-based PTSD therapy for current and former law enforcement and current and former military. And so the event is a fundraising event as well as an opportunity for police and military just come have a ball. And so, Taylor, you got to go out here and help me beat the bushes and find some businesses that are willing to donate the money. All right. The cool part about it is that the participants are donating $50 to the fund. The sponsors are paying for the event, and then all the cost, everything over and above the cost of the event also goes to the fund. So we're trying to, I want to raise $1 million. That's my goal.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I'm serious. I want to raise $1 million because I think we're going to need it. We test drove something back in COVID. We did a scholarship fund. I think Ray Hardy helped run point on that from The Point. So, but we put $50,000 away into a scholarship fund for a nonprofit that divvied out. Well, it was gone in months. So, and that was for general population, marriage counseling, whatever it might be. But it was gone in months. So, $1 million is not a lot of money. And so that's what I'm praying for. I'm praying for some dude who sees my $10,000 deal and goes, "You didn't put enough zeros in that in that sponsor, so I'm just going to add a few more zeros in that, and let's get this thing on up to $1 million, and let's get rolling. And let's really start serving our police and our military in this year." So there's over 1 million people just in this region. There's like 1 million people in Mecklenburg. You know what I mean? So when you start looking at the amount of police officers in the military that their lives could literally be changed by by getting into a counseling service like this. This is huge. It's huge. And so that's what I'm hoping. We need to match the need.
And please tell your friends, share this information with them, especially if you know somebody that's an officer, past or present, because $50, listen, if you have a gun, you can't even get a box of ammo for $50. You're going to get to go out, have fun, shoot all different kinds of AR, all kinds of different guns.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not paying for ammo. You're not paying for the guns. You're going to get to shoot guns you probably don't own. And
Yep.
I heard that there's going to be a barbecue lunch buffet. And
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Rick, who loves the police officers, I'm going to tell you, nobody fixes better barbecue than Mr. Rick. I love him, and he supports our officers. But that barbecue, woo!
Well, check out Mr. Rick. Now, the barbecue is this, so we're doing it at a place called Mission Farm, which is in Iron Station. It's a wedding venue, but he also built a competitive shooting range. It's crazy, awesome.
How awesome!
Yeah. And so he is a master barbecue guy himself. So I'm like, hey, would you be willing to make a bunch of barbecue for everybody at this thing? And so Lee Shank is donating the barbecue, and we're just gonna make it all. And we'll pay for the food, but he's gonna cook it all up, make it Lee Shank barbecue. It's on point, and he makes his own sauce. All right. So if you're down with vinegar sauce, I grew up on a vinegar sauce.
Yes, because we're Carolina.
Yes, I was like, when I moved here and I keep seeing Carolina barbecue, and I'll go, and they ain't got no vinegar. I'm like, where's the vinegar? Like, I'm confused. So I grew up in Southeast Virginia eating what I was told was called Carolina barbecue, with the vinegar and the peppers in it. And I can't hardly find it around here, but Lee Shank got it going on. Mission Farm.
I like the vinegar. I like the sweet too, but I love the vinegar.
Oh, I like it all.
And that's going to be a lot of barbecue. And barbecue is the best meal. I know it probably shouldn't be. I have barbecue today. But listen, please share this with your friends. $50 to sign up. Get your guys together. And here's also a thing I have a problem with. I talk to my girls about it all the time. Ladies like to shoot too.
Yes.
If you're a lady, go show these men up, because a lot of times, not to put anything on the guys, but ladies have better aim. So go out there, show the men you're a better shot. You got a better shot, and win this contest. Get back to me, because I want to highlight that.
I've seen it.
I want my ladies, my lady officers, my lady military members to go out there and show these men how it's done. I've
seen it happen. I've seen it. I believe it. I've seen women outshoot men before. It ain't men don't have this ain't a weightlifting contest. You know what I mean? So I have seen it, and yep. So, but you're dead right. Yeah, come on out, military as well, and come on out. It's fair and square, and target's the same target everybody else is going to shoot. And so there's just going to be something cool too, that everybody out there is law enforcement and military, and so it's just a really cool connection, community piece for them to be able to just build relationships with people who, from law enforcement, I know they really like to stick together. But I also know that they love sticking together. So you're going to meet all these other men in blue, all these other women in blue, and then the military is the same thing. And I think in the last decade or so, police and military are really starting to find, we got a lot of things in common, and an interesting connection there. So the event itself is going to be a great opportunity. But
April 22nd is the event date. I don't know if we hit that. April
oh yeah,
22nd is the
so
event.
April 22nd is the event date, and I put on my Facebook page, I put the link to the event, to the website where you can go see everything, and then sponsorship. You know, so there's a really cool deal. You don't have to be the top tier. Read the sponsorship deal. The top tier sponsors get to compete. So even if you were never law enforcement or police, because you're willing to be one of those top tier investors, you get to come out and compete as well. So the 10 grand guy I think gets 4 tickets, or gal. 5,000 I think gets. I forget. It'll tell you how many tickets you get. So you get to go out there and show your stuff. So I know some of these business owners like to shoot. Here's your chance, and be able to really jump in on it. And Taylor Potter.
So please, if you're watching right now and you own a business, or God's been good to you, listen. If you're a faithful person and you know the word of God, God is going to bless that. Press down, shaking together, and running over. And there's no better ministry to support, in my opinion. I've gone to church my whole life. I love Venture Church. I've been in the congregation, and I watch all the time of how Pastor Austin, and not just Pastor Austin, like, listen, every single person that goes to that church, they are the most giving, loving people, and they're always helping people in the community. And that's what I love to be connected to. Maybe I can't do certain things, but whatever you're good at, if you can bless people with whatever God has gifted you with. And so money is a big thing. And I know a lot of times we like to hold on and hoard our money, but God blesses the giver. It is biblical, and I've seen it happen in my own life, and you cannot outgive God. And so I would encourage you that if you want a healthy ministry to donate to and a healthy cause, Dare to Act is a great thing to donate to. And your money is going to a good cause. And you're going to benefit, because the word of God can't lie. So
there we go.
Watch God make it. He's going to make you prosper off that. So
it's going to be cool.
What other ways can you give and get money in return like that?
I know, right? So, and I'm telling people, like, how many charitable organizations or funds do you donate to that then promise to market your business? Like, come on. So, like, Taylor, you're over here getting your.
And they mean it.
And we mean it. Like, we're going to market the daylights out of you. Yeah. So you're in it with us, and we're going to be in it for you. And so, like, Taylor's on here. She's got a real estate business going. So if Taylor gets on there, and let's say she becomes a $2,500 sponsor, $1,000 sponsor, we're going to be pushing out Taylor's real estate company. And notice somebody tagged Reliable Fire. Emily Clemens tagged Reliable Fire and Safety Inc. Yep. So if they sponsor us, we're literally going to be promoting Reliable Fire and Safety to the 200,000+ Blackstone shooting sports customers, as well as the regional influence of all of our social media. And it's, we're not the biggest church on the planet, but we've got a pretty hefty social media footprint. And so it's Emily said we're in. Awesome. That's awesome. So
you see, look, God's already working it out.
Yeah. So this is an opportunity for us to be a part of working together to help your business, and working together to help people in our community. And that's what I'm trying to, when we did the Career Expo, that was the same concept. The Career Expo was all about supporting local businesses that we're asking to support the Boys and Girls Club that serves families in the Dallas community. And so I'm like, instead of just asking a business for money, why don't we do something that helps the business? Well, the business needs employees so they can make money. Okay, well, we'll leverage our reputation in the community and our platform to try to get people to come find out about working for your company. Thank you for investing in the Boys and Girls Club. So I'm trying to do more and more of that. Because number one, I hate asking for money. Like, I would rather somebody pull this crooked tooth I got, right? So pull this crooked tooth out. I would rather that be done without medicine than have to ask for money. I hate asking for money, but I love affecting lives. And so whether it's the Boys and Girls Club that we donate our building to and help them raise money so that they can staff it, or this PTS Scholarship Fund, I love raising money when it actually changes a life. And this is one of those things that's going to change a life. A police officer, a person who served in our military, their life is going to be different because of your donation. I mean, that's huge. This isn't just some random thing that gets sucked up in a bunch of bureaucracy. Somebody's life is going to be different because of your dollar. And that, to me, is fun. And now the last thing I'll say on this, that's what breaks my heart about people who don't give. Like they're missing out. Like you to budget to give. So like just our family, we feel led to give 15% of our income. We give 10% to venture, and we set aside 5% to give to things like Dare to Act or Boys and Girls Club, and so we use the Every Dollar app, and so 10% of everything we make goes into the app for Venture Church. 5% goes into this miscellaneous giving thing, and it allows us to do all these fun things through the year. So many Americans miss out on that because they don't budget to give. They budget to have instead of give. And I'm telling you, when you start budgeting to give, people are like, oh, the Lord's going to make you wealthy. I am not wealthy. I'm a middle income American. I am sitting right now in a chair that my wife bought for $5. So we are not wealthy. And I don't believe God has plans to make me wealthy. If he does, he does. But I don't think that's in my cards. I'm not giving to get wealthy. I'm giving because it glorifies God and it's so freaking fun to be able to give. Like you're changing lives. Tell me what else is better than that, And so anyway, I just want to encourage you, if you're listening, have a conversation with your spouse, or if you're single, like how are you using your finances to make a difference in your community? And your church, there's nonprofits all over the place. There's so many ways. There's probably somebody in your life that that you can help. I know we've got a family in the church we're going to be talking about. Their son is getting ready to go through major radiation treatment for brain cancer, and we're gonna find a way to help financially support them. And how fun is that? You're getting to help make a difference. So when it comes to Dare to Act, those of you who are just signing on, I just saw the numbers click back up again. Those of you who are just signing on with Dare to Act, this is a scholarship fund to pay for PTSD therapy for active and current military and active and current law enforcement. And we're doing an event to help generate money for that we're calling Dare to Act. And it's an event for law enforcement and military. It's a shooting event. It's going to be a crazy awesome shooting event. You can go to daretoventure.org, scroll down, you'll see Dare to Act. You can learn about that event. So if you're a business, we're asking people to sponsor the event so that you can help sponsor the fund. If you're law enforcement or military and you participate in an event, your $50 is a straight up donation to the fund. It doesn't go to any cost of the event whatsoever. So you get to have fun and know that you just donated $50 to go help one of your brothers or sisters that was out there in blue or in our military with you. So, and with me, by the way, is Sarah Lee, and is the morning
my dog is
Cat 96. Yeah, morning show Cat 96, and here, Sarah. Here's one of the things I love about you. When you and Rob started coming to Venture, you guys are like, how can we take our gifts and talents and make a difference in the kingdom? And you get up at like 3:00 in the morning to go to work.
Awesome.
And this is like the third or fourth time this year that you've got online or helped me do something in the evening hours because you want to help make a difference. And I think that says a lot about you and your husband and your family. That's so cool how you give of your time, and not just talent and dollars, but your time.
Well, I'm honored to do it because there is nothing that makes me more excited than like being in the community and giving back. I love it more than anything. Like it's so much fun. You mentioned it earlier, and I see my friend Joy is on here, and she said, I love this because especially after my nephew being shot. And her nephew is Lee Whittington, and he is a was a police officer in Kings Mountain. And I remember the night he got shot, and it was terrifying. And he got injured and was in the hospital. We didn't know if he was going to make it. I love his wife, Tabitha. But the best moment, Pastor Austin, is when he got out of that hospital and we had a big like parade for him in Kings Mountain, and the streets were lined. But his daughter, when you see his daughter grab her daddy, and it makes me emotional every time. And it was like, there's no dollar amount you could have put to that moment. And that's her daddy. And so he was shot. It's guys like this, people that are in your community that have families, that have daughters. And, we raise money for him, but it was that moment that it's like, that's why you do it. Like, it's so much fun to give back. And these people risk their lives. There were 2 Gastonia police officers and this is why I love what you do, Pastor Austin, because people don't realize officers don't make a lot of money. And so when Christmas time comes along, a lot of officers will take part-time jobs at bars, at clubs, to raise money to provide for their families. And 2 officers were injured, shot in Gaston County.
Yep.
And guess what? They were working a part-time job. So
Yep.
workman
They were
comp
not
is
on duty. They were doing off-duty hours at a local club. Yep.
to raise money to support their
Their family. Yep.
And they got shot. So now they can't provide for their family, but they don't qualify for workman's comp because they were working a part-time job.
Mhm.
How disgusting is it that we can't, that they don't have help, and now they can't work, disabled. And we came together as a community and we supported these 2 officers. And when I tell you the gratefulness, but you think that they're getting a blessing, but let me tell you, it is a blessing to you. And
Yes.
it is so much fun because life is about seasons, and you might be here right now, but I've been where I've had people help me pay mortgage. And then I've been at the top, I've been at the bottom. And what I've learned is that it is such a blessing on both seasons. On both seasons, God shows you who's in your life. But if you're in a place right now where God, you're in a great season, I encourage you. You don't have to be a business owner. We want, before this broadcast ends, which we only have a few more minutes,
Yep.
we are believing in God that you have been led to this Facebook Live, and that if you're debating right now, this is your message. This is the time to give, and God is going to bless you 100-fold. I promise you that. God has never failed me, and he won't fail you. But this is a moment. You did not come across this broadcast by mistake. You're here for a reason. We thank you for your time watching, but we're in this together. We can't see you, but your dollars are going to change people's lives. And this isn't like a TV thing you see. Pastor Austin, I go to his church. I'm a part of Venture Church in Dallas. If you're looking for a great church, listen, he can keep my attention. I have massive ADD. I laugh out loud, and I don't even go to comedy shows because nobody makes me laugh. Pastor Austin makes me laugh. His wife, Carrie, there's no better praise and worship. This woman will bring you right to the
Preach it on that, girl. You're right on that one now. Yes.
I know. I love her.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. To the point, not to derail that, I sent my husband, Rob Wagman, out. I didn't know it was Pastor Austin's wife. We were new to the church. I said, go get this girl's information. She's a star. This girl can sing.
Yeah.
Sang. In the South, is sang if you really can sing.
Sang.
But you are tied to an amazing ministry. And I just feel like, God is really going to come through on this, but you are going to be blessed if you give. And our faith is that on this broadcast, you're going to come through and you're going to help us, and you're going to help us raise this money. And you don't have to be a business owner. If you are, you're going to get amazing sponsorship opportunities, email blast. I mean, your business is going to be everywhere. But you can be just a regular person that doesn't own a business, but says, hey, man, I really feel like God is on my heart right now, and I want to donate $5,000. I want to donate $500, $100. That's all I have to give. We'll take it. And I hate asking for money, too. I've been asking for money for a PTO for my son's school. And you know what, Pastor Austin? People came out of the woodworks and they gave money. They gave so much. Like, it made me cry. I told my husband, we sat in this kitchen and I said, I am so overwhelmed by the tribe that God has put in my life that would surround my family over something as small as PTO meeting, like how much bigger is this? Not saying that's not big, but how much bigger is this? So I don't think that you're on this broadcast by mistake, and one person can change hundreds of lives. It is a trickle effect. It's a domino effect. One good deed, we talk about it at 96.9 The Cap every morning. Paul Shad, one small thing, Charlotte, one small thing you do today will have a lasting impact on somebody else's life. Doesn't have to be major. Could be $100. We're going to take it. And I cannot wait to hear the praise report, Pastor Austin. I know God's going to come through. I feel it. You
got to preach. This girl can preach. This girl got the preach on. Yeah. No, you're dead right. It's like you just, I hear so many preachers capture the blessing you get for giving is they always corner it as financial. You know what? I do think God does bless some folks because they're financially, but the Lord's blessings are not always attached with dollars. And
right.
And I have found the things that aren't attached to dollars to be some of the greatest blessings of my life, far bigger than dollars. Dollars come and go. Dollars, you buy stuff, and the stuff you bought breaks. You know what I mean? But the blessings that God has put into my life had you can't put a dollar figure on. And so I do believe God blesses us as we give to others. I don't necessarily preach it in the way that some of the prosperity gospel folks do, but there is no doubt the Bible promises a harvest back. The Bible tells us, watch me, let me prove to you what I can do here. And so, if nothing else, it's the experience of loving others, and that's the focus of New Testament giving.
Yes.
The
And
focus
I
of New
love it.
Testament giving is not getting, it's not being blessed, it's the blessing of loving, of
Yes.
being Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like doing what God has done for us and doing it for others. That
Love.
fills your tank. That is of itself a blessing, that you are faithful to the Lord and you're living in God's submission to Him and giving as He has given to you. I'm telling you. And so this is one of those things that in something like this, when you're talking about serving police and military, if you don't feel blessed about how you give to help support police and military, I mean, that's like saying, preachers joke when they're trying to get people to come forward. They'll just be like, if you love your mother, come forward, and, like, dang, man, if you can't feel blessed about helping out police and military in your community, then you got a problem. Like, you need counseling yourself. Come see Kim at our church. Kim will help you. Well, you.
Here's the thing too, like in the media, like I hate it because so many people hate media right now. There's such a divide in our
Mhm.
country, and I hate watching the news because I feel like everything is so negative based. It's all division. It's hate. It's wired that way, to
Yeah.
make you feel something, and unfortunately, it's to make you feel something negative. And so I am so about a positive movement. And you know how you can change things? If you don't like what you see on the news, whenever you pour love and you sow love in the community, it's going to manifest and it's going to grow. And guess what happens when we all collectively come together and we start doing something nice for our neighbor and it becomes a movement?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, the news cannot say anything bad when all great things are happening, when our communities are being blessed, because who cares what they're saying? I know what God is doing and I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and
Yes.
I took part in it. It's like laying a foundation. If you're building a house, guess what? I put one of those bricks down in that house. You know how some people can buy like bricks when you're building a building and put your family name on it? Well, that's what you're doing when you donate to this amazing thing. Pastor Austin, your vision, I know it's God-given, and I just want to thank you for, this is just one of the billions of things that you do in the community, and I don't even know where you get the energy from, because
what you talk about? Like you girl, you got more energy than
no, but I really appreciate you and Carrie and all you guys do, because I know your heart, and I'm thankful to be tied to you guys. It is such a blessing and an honor to help spread the word, and I cannot wait to see how God is going to bless this. I know God is going to be faithful. I feel it in my spirit that people are watching right now is not by mistake. If you're watching right this second, Pastor Austin doesn't like to ask for money because he's a pastor. I'm a woman. I'm going to ask you for your money. And I'm going to say, even until it hurts, please come on. Get around us. We need our tribes, and support this event. It's going to be awesome. And if you don't know what we're talking about, daretoventure.org. Go on there, Dare to Act, and you'll see all the information. April 22nd is when it's all going down.
That's when it's going down. So, Sarah, thank you so much for hanging out. And it's just so cool that you're willing to help push this stuff and be a part of these things and help your community. You're a hometown gal, and we're going to do that one day. So we have been talking about doing a podcast to tell your story because it's so cool. And so we're going to do that one day. And I think folks are going to be really interested in that. Just how the Lord has just used you and your career, and so that's just really cool. So, hometown gal from Kings Mountain.
Thank you. And if y'all are watching off my Facebook feed, you don't know who this guy is. He's Pastor Austin Ramo. I feel like everybody knows you. But if you're looking for a church, because he ain't going to say this because he's like this super cool pastor, come to church on Sunday, and he might pick on what time I get there. My husband and kids, I got kids. I like to say they make me late. There are 2 services that you can go to. I go to the 11 o'clock because I get up early every morning. I like to sleep in. That's sleeping in for me.
Yeah.
But there's a 9:30 service. I used to say 9 o'clock because I just don't ever go that early. But
Mhm.
it's packed at every service. So get there early, because if you get there late like me, you get the flashlight guy out there. He's like struggling to find your seat.
The flashlight
But
guy takes it.
I love that Pastor Austin is not just, he's funny. He says stuff on there. I look at Rob like, I'm like, I laugh out loud, y'all. I know people around me are like, this girl. But he feeds your soul, and it's through from the word of God. And if he doesn't get through with the message, guess what? There's always notes online, and where he digs even deeper. And that's what I love. It's not just a, hey, you're in church for an hour. It's, hey, here we are, this is what it is, and then you can go and get more information online. And if you're looking for a church, I'm telling you, I've been to churches all over the country. I've lived in every state you can imagine. And so when I say that this church is amazing, not just the pastors, it really is
It's the
entire
church.
congregation of people. The
Yep.
second you walk in the door, you feel like you're a part of everybody's family, and
Yep.
it's a blessing from every area, from the kids ministry, which is awesome. My son Zion is super baby gangster. Like, if you know him, you know. Like, when that baby's like, I want to go to church, and when we wake up and say it's Sunday, he's like, yay, we're going to church today. Like, when baby gangster says that, you know it's awesome.
It's time to go. It's time to go. I love your kids are awesome. No, them boys are all boy. They're trip.
Yeah.
No. Well, hey, thank you. I don't want to take any more of your time. If you're just dialing in, folks who just jumped on, the link is just go to our website, daretoventure.org, and you'll see Dare to Act. It's a scholarship fund that we're creating for police and military to get them into counseling and therapy. Second, there's an event on April 22nd that's going to help fund that scholarship. And so we need sponsors, and we're looking for law enforcement and military to participate in the event. So go to daretoventure.org and click the Dare to Act event. Everything's Dare with us. So, hey, thank you so much, Sarah. And what time do you start in the morning? What, you come on at what time?
I come on at 6 in the morning.
Whoa! There you go.
Woo!
I have to say, I don't normally hear you till 7.
Well, I can't wait to see you guys on Sunday, and I can't wait to hear how God is moving in this event and how many sponsors we get, because I know that we're going to reach those sponsor goals. So thank you so much for allowing me to come on here with you. It's been so much fun.
Cool. See you, Sarah. Thanks.